Welcome to Align Trading, going over the trades that I took today and what happened in the stock market. The first thing that I posted in the morning was we were looking out for this inverse cup and handle to close here, as well as possibly this shoulder and this shoulder right here with the head like that to give us the finish down like this through the moving average, or possibly was looking if we did only the half inverse to the moving average and got a bounce like that and maybe stayed between these, but we actually ended up breaking down it. We retested here, and now we have completed one inverse cup right here. So for tomorrow, we will be looking if we can get a bounce and hold below this level still right here. This will be an important level, as well as this 503.94. I will be paying close attention to if we are above that or below it, as well as our moving averages right here. We want to see if we can regain the 5-day moving average and possibly regain the 20. So maybe we get some sort of bounce like this right here and break through both of them with good news. Otherwise, we are going to be looking if we can break out of this flag right here that we have on the bottom of this algorithm, giving us this inverse cup down to this 494 level right here before we possibly see a bounce, or maybe we come a little lower to that 490, 492 area down here, then we see a bounce and continue like that. However, that we have fallen below this for now right here, and the moving average, this is bearish. So unless we do regain that, I will be looking for the downside if we are able to get back above, especially this 503.94 level right here. That is when maybe I will look for the upside to break out of this flag right here that we are doing, possibly something like that, before we are able to grab that. So for the first trade that we took today, what we were looking for, I posted that we would need to see this sort of head and shoulder as well as inverse cup starting to form, and if it did, then look for the handle or the shoulder right here, and we could see the breakdown, and sure enough, there it is, right to the bottom of that inverse cup, where we get a bounce before we end up actually coming back through it. But this was the first trade that I took here at 1024 right there. I explained I wanted to see a sweep through the moving average because right here we failed to actually break it. It was the 20-day moving averages right here below, and what we did was we formed that shoulder right there as well as the resistance, and I took that for the trade. The next two trades that I ended up taking were much later in the day. I was waiting for a possible reversal, and with this moving average right here, when we started forming this base right here, I saw that this algo was beginning to taper like this. The selling algorithm was no longer steep, and we were starting to see something like that forming. So when it gave me this shoulder entry right here, I took it and took it up almost to the moving average right there before we retested it and formed this shoulder right here, and I took the move to the downside, completing once again that inverse cup that I like to take right here. We get the retest and it goes down again, and then the rest of the day we get that dump. There were very nice moves today, but there were also points of chop where it could have stopped you out a lot of times, right? This would have been very hard to trade if you were taking entries within this chop right here. Yes, there were some great dumps, but you had to be very patient to catch them, because if you were not, you were going to get stopped out even towards the end of the day here. That's a terrible choppy zone trying to keep an entry in there. Now I'm going to go back to the 30-minute and explain kind of the algorithms and what is going on here with this algorithm we can see right here, and potentially what this means for tomorrow. For FOMC tomorrow, what I will be watching is these moving averages right here, and to see if we can form something more for a resistance. So if that is right, another retest for a shoulder here, can't break above, and then we dump again, or we do end up completing this right here to that and maybe get a bounce like this, I will look for the move down into this area right here. To the upside, what I will be watching is the same thing. Can we find some sort of support here and get back above this 503.94 level right here, which is super important because we need to use this shoulder right here as well as that if we are going to have a fake and break out of this controlled selling algorithm that we are in right here. We must see it find some sort of support here. I will be looking for my entry off of the moving average if that is a possibility. So say we get a long couple candles up to the moving average like we are going up and we start forming resistance at it, I will look for a short entry, and if we are above the moving average and we can retest it, possibly making a shoulder right here, I will look to go long. It just all depends on how this is right here at this level as well as this 503.94, and then to the downside, this level right here, if we can use this liquidity right here to dump lower into this level right there. This is a pretty good sell candle right here. I mean, that is one of the highest sell candles we've had in a bit since right here, and what was followed with this was a nice sell-off. So we can potentially see, right, this big red candle up here, we get this sell-off. So let's see if the selling continues. We got an increase right here. Let's see if it continues or remains, or if the buyers step back in and they can bring us higher. Now, taking a look at the daily chart here, what we can see is we are now back below the moving averages that we were just above right here. We tried to hold above this moving average and we got this doji candle right here. So we got the reversal, and we will see if tomorrow we come down and possibly test the bottom of this Bollinger right here. If it opens up a little more, maybe even lower, or if we can regain these and continue higher. So be paying attention to that. You can see we have some sort of flag right here, and we are starting to form a possible head and shoulder on the daily to come retest this level right here, this 494, 495, or if we want to test 491, we can test down here within the coming weeks, whatever it may be. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you tomorrow afternoon in time for FOMC.